An alleyway here in the downtown area. It is snow covered. You do need to be careful driving through this. Now I want to walk and move over a little bit here. I'm near State Street right by Viking Pump. Roads are 100% covered here in Dubuque right now. Snow is still coming down. Behind me, this was once an apartment complex. It has been flattened. You might be able to tell over here, this looks like what was once a kitchen. You can see cabinets and a refrigerator. Walls have been blown out. And then I want to show you this behind me here. And the flooding still continues all the way to over here. This means that Chris Soules pleaded guilty to aggravated misdemeanor, not to the felony charges he was facing. And walking this way here, you can see this pink material behind me. A lot of fiberglass insulation was inside the shed. Just stand up.
Stand straight
like
up.
this. As of around noon today, they've had around 2,000 votes come in from Black Hawk County. And you can see they just tower above me. They are very tall. And now the dog is back home. Take a look. There's no denying brothers Jackson and Jevin Molis and their dog Scooby are close. So when someone took the 2-year-old golden retriever, the boys were devastated.
I don't even know why people do this kind of stuff. Why does it happen to us out of all the people in the world? Why did it have to happen to us and stuff? I was scared that he was never going to come back.
Surveillance video from the boys' grandparents' house shows 2 men walking around the property around 10:30 Tuesday morning. Scooby, being a friendly dog, tries to say hi and welcome them. Here's a different angle of the men approaching the house. Eventually, video shows the men walking away with Scooby.
Basically following them.
A Facebook post from the family showing screenshots of the 2 men and Scooby was shared thousands of times. And yesterday morning, a happy surprise.
I couldn't sleep last night.
The Molises discovered their stolen dog back home.
No, but then I was like, what? They brought him back? Because I didn't think they'd bring him back, because the cops said that they would normally sell them or keep them as a pet if they were a good dog, so I thought they were going to keep him as a pet because he's a good dog.
3 brothers happily reunited. Arlington, Iowa. Rural, quiet, a few hundred people. You could say it's un poco, or a little, taste of Iowa. Poco, also the name of this horse in town.
Good boy.
Poco lives in Kimberly Bright's backyard.
Got plenty of room to run.
The 2 met about a year ago.
He had a half an ear, and I thought, oh, he's not whole neither. That's his kisses. And together we're full. Together we're whole. But
What's he doing?
I don't know. He just does that. If I stood closer, he'd have my hair.
For Kimberly, Poco's not just a pet.
Come on, baby.
He's Kimberly's
Come on.
therapy horse.
I don't have suicidal thoughts.
Helping her battle PTSD.
Because I think, who's going to take care of Poco?
A doctor's note from Regional Family Health reads, Ms. Bright has significant mental health problems for which animal therapy has been beneficial.
Having her horse to tend to on her property is part of her therapeutic regimen.
But Kimberly and Poco live here on Liberty Street, and the Arlington City Council says this is within city limits. It's not the place to keep Poco. The city did not want to comment on air about this, but I do have multiple warning letters from them saying that families and a daycare with young children nearby are in this area. The warning letters also say neighbors filed complaints about Poco getting loose several times and complaints about the smell of manure coming from Kimberly's yard.
Kind of feel for the horse in a little corner lot like that. When he's on bare dirt, it's not the place. It just isn't the place.
2, 3!
Other neighbors, like the Petersons here, say Poco doesn't bother them.
I think it's fun to have the horse across the street.
Hi. For Kimberly,
Good boy.
she says she's looking after her horse. And she says she built this
We got this chain link fence.
to keep Poco from escaping again.
Behind there, yeah, it is a cornfield.
She also says she's near the edge of town.
It looks like I see corn stalks. You know, if I lived in the middle of town, of course I would have never bought a horse. I don't think I've fought for anything in a long time.
That is until Poco stepped in.
But then he came along and he gave me a voice.
Now it's up to the court to decide
I don't know what's going to happen.
if Poco should go. Amanda Gilbert, News 7 KWWL. The kids come running in Gilbertville, not for the yellow bus. but for the person inside.
This is Aubrey.
Bus driver Arnett Bush loves her kids.
Bye, Dominic. Bye, Chris. I have good kids. And whenever you have good kids, you treat them.
Treating them with color.
And these are pins also, but they have a different tip on them.
Arnett buys art supplies
And they're wider.
and coloring books
I have 47 coloring books.
for her kids.
She lets us color pictures.
All the pictures displayed on the ceiling.
Kids' art bus.
It all started with Kelly.
Kelly's the first one that drew the picture for me.
You drew the very first picture?
I didn't draw, I just colored it.
Well, you colored it. Same difference.
We have like a bunch of pictures.
Then Aubrey.
Like about 2,000.
Then Gina.
Oh, this is my girl.
Christopher. And Dominic.
This one is the first one that Christopher did, the owl. And this is the one he's done just not too long ago.
Arnett's turning 80 this year.
I'll be 80 in June.
But the kids, the parents, and even the dogs know she's not leaving anytime soon.
Bye, baby.
But I tell you what, from the second that these guys hit the door, they're not mine anymore, they're hers.
They do a very good job, and I'm so proud of them.
Showing that it's what's inside that really counts. In Gilbertville, Amanda Gilbert, News 7 KWWL. The sound, as an important part of Applington, burned to the ground. Smoke could be seen for miles. After a fire started at Central Iowa Exchange Sale Barn around 1 this morning. The sale barn going from this overnight to this by day.
Built in 1920, so there's history that we'll never get back again.
Verlin Shepard says he has family that owns this barn.
Trish, she ended up putting a lot of work and effort into this building to get it all fixed up, and now it's gone.
Walking this way, you can see just how big this sale barn was. The owner actually tells me they were supposed to have a household auction here tomorrow, but a lot of the items for that auction burned in this fire. Antiques,
Sad.
furniture, tools.
Yeah, sad day.
Supposed to be sold, but now this.
Don't like to see anybody go through this.
Firefighters worked throughout the early morning in thick smoke and fog, tearing down walls, moving debris. They and the owner trying to wrap their head around how this happened.